So now to something completely different. This is not Eurovision. This is Archivision, I think. This is this is the partners of my company. This is Jan, Bo, Kasper, and me. Kasper is in charge of our research department, GXN, and we all architects, of course. We are situated in Copenhagen now. We came from Aarhus, where we started 26 years ago. And now we're staying at this loft here in Copenhagen. We're growing out of it, I must say. But we made this artificial ceiling here because this is an old listed building, and we couldn't get enough daylight in, so we made this daylight, artificial daylight, that brings us daylight night and day, so people work later, generally. We have a lot of nationalities at the office as well. So this is, for example, Fred and Cheryl from Canada, Fred from America and Cheryl from Canada, and there's some from Colombia over there. So, because we work very much abroad, we have 70% of our work outside Denmark, but we are definitely situated in Denmark, where we're doing a lot of our work to show our showcases. Like this is the arena that we won about 1 year ago, and it's going to be finished here in 2 years' time. And we're all sitting in the same space. I have no office, so I'm walking around talking to all the people all the time, and I love that. On top of that, we have GXN, led by Kasper, as I said, a research department that we started 7 years ago, because we don't want to follow the materials that's on the market. We like to do whatever we want to do, and if there's no material that fits the product, then we create it ourselves. And that has actually become quite an interesting business, and a good business for us too. And we develop software, and we have an architectural psychologist at the office too. I'll come back to that. What we really believe in when we do architecture is that architecture shapes behavior. And that actually really started when we did this school here. That was a competition we won 10 years ago, a high school in Gymnasium, as it is, in Copenhagen, after the new building, new school reform that you have here too in Sweden, I know, where it's more about taking all the disciplines, mathematics, physics, language, whatever, and work together in groups and learn from each other. So what we created was one big space where the students work together, and from there off, we really learned that an interior, an architectural space, can make people do things that they wouldn't do in another space. And of course, we all know that is the truth, but it's actually interesting to use this as a driving factor when you design buildings. That you design, for example, staircase coming up here, and that makes all the students talk together when they come up and they see what is happening around here. And they like to work like this here, like they work at home, of course, to create environments that inspires the students. And then at the end, there come students out of it that are motivated for working in the big world. But this philosophy we took on to other kinds of buildings, like this cultural building in Holland, where all the functions wanted to be on the ground floor. Of course, they couldn't be. So we learned from the school and took this kind of environment inside, where we want the people to take the staircase up. This is a public building. There's a library up here, and there's a town hall on top of that. We wanted that as a very open, democratic building where everybody can see what is happening in their own building, and that really functions. And it actually brings in a lot of daylight too. As you see, there's. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, there's no artificial light in these ceilings. It's only reflected light, even that it's a very deep building. I think it's very important that inside works with the outside, and then the inside is very important, of course. Another example, we don't only do circular staircases. Staircases is one of our, especially one of my things that I really like to do. Very much because we use it as interactors for people to meet. This is a little bank building, and actually become a community building for a small town, Middelfart, in the middle of Denmark. Whereas the building from the outside, when you see it from distance, it looks like you can see how big it is, and compared to all the other houses around. But when you come down eye level, it fits into the small community. And the inside is a very open space. It's actually built on top of the old construction. In here, there used to be an old bank building in here that the saving bank, as it was, want to save as much as possible. So we built on top of that and made this roof landscape inside and a community space on the ground level. So here everybody is connected and in contact with each other. And in the weekend, this happens, small concerts, exhibitions, whatever, in the building. So it doesn't only have one function. We value context as well, like this court building in Copenhagen, that this is an old listed building, and we were in a competition to do a new court building here. And actually all the challenges about connecting to the old environment, the old building, formed this building. There were some trees we have to keep here, so the building shaped around the trees. And we had to have the same height of the building next to it here, so that's shaped the roof of the building this way here, so it connects to the context. And of course, it's a new building. It doesn't do what the existing buildings do. It does it in a different way, but it connects to the context, which is, I think, is very important. Plays with brick materials, but in a new way, in another way that the old buildings does. Or this building here for a museum in Liverpool, where we took up all the different path lines in the area and connected and made that into a building. This is a very sensitive space in Liverpool, a World Heritage Site. So this is the three old buildings that we have to respect. So we didn't want to build a new building in front of them. We wanted to do an installation telling the stories about what used to be in Liverpool and connect all the different lines, make it a social space for the people of Liverpool. This is a museum that tells all the stories of Liverpool. It's a town history museum. And the building is formed so it allows views, doesn't obstruct the views to the old buildings in the area, but embraces the views and creates shelter to one side and allows a canal to come underneath the building, so the building becomes a bridge construction at the same time. There was a lot of challenges. It is all the challenges, I believe, that very often creates our architecture. Here we use, again, staircases as stands for when Paul McCartney comes to Liverpool. He can play here and people can sit up here. It's not only an entrance, it is meant for more than just coming into the building. And the challenge is about how to get disabled people up, makes the building land on the site. And from a distance, it becomes a monument about what used to be there, a shipyard in stone. This way of using a building, not only as a building, but for means of connecting different parts of a place, we did in Molde too, in Norway, where we got the worst site in Molde, more or less, a big hole in the middle of the town, disconnecting two parts of the town. And that challenge we took up and formed the whole building as a one big staircase, combining the different areas of the town. But again, this is a jazz building. It's for jazz music, and it's a library building. Every year they have a jazz festival in the summer, and they cannot have everybody inside the building. So we made the whole building formed as one big stage with stands where people could sit and see the music. Before this was a big hole. Now you can play music up here with the water as a background for people sitting up here. So the building contains what it should contain. It has a music hall. It has a library inside, but it's a lot more than that. Okay, things go. Time goes. I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Can I just show Speedy a little bit more? Okay, I finish here then.